This is WLWT News 5, leading the way.
Possibly pumping the brakes here on recreational pot. Thanks for staying with us at 4:30. I'm Cherie Palello. So a state senator wants to make some big changes to the new law that voters just passed through less than a month ago. WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes is live now with a look at the proposal quickly making the rounds up there in Columbus. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Cherie. Yeah, time is of the essence because without any legislative changes, voter-approved Issue 2 will take effect Thursday, paving the way for weed people to be able to use and consume, and also for plants that are grown at home. Those are a couple things that lawmakers are now focused on. Today, a Senate committee in Columbus held the first hearing on substitute House Bill 86, a vehicle that some lawmakers want to use to change the language of Ohio's new recreational marijuana law. A Republican lawmaker from northwestern Ohio spent about a half hour going over changes that he would like to see. Those changes include banning public pot smoking, lowering the THC content of adult use cannabis products, limiting how much weed can be sold to any one person, and eliminating Issue 2's home grow provision.
There's been a lot of discussion about this. There are members, frankly, even on our side of the aisle who would like to see home grow provisions added in. There are a number of members who are pretty adamant that home grow is simply an avenue for the black market to continue to flourish. And as I mentioned before, one of the goals here is to stamp out as much of the black market as we can.
Now, there's going to be a public hearing on House Bill 86 tomorrow afternoon, but people who want to share their thoughts, well, they had to notify the committee of the chair in question by earlier today of their intentions. And as you can imagine, there are backers of Issue 2 who are not happy at all with these proposed changes. In fact, campaign spokesman Tom Herron said the bill now being considered would, quote, subvert the will of Ohio voters. Reporting live, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
So, Todd, let's get back to the timing of this issue for just a second. Again, this new law takes effect this Thursday. Is there even enough time between now and then to revise Issue 2?
I think that's what everybody wants to know the answer to, Cherie, and it's a question that I posed to State Representative Bill Seitz of Green Township, and he told me that members of the House would have to agree with any changes that the Senate makes by Wednesday, just in a couple of days. Seitz thinks that if there is anything that does pass both chambers this week, it would be a much skinnier package than what the Senate unveiled today, most likely deferring the start of Ohio's recreational marijuana program so all lawmakers can have more time to look at the proposals and share their thoughts. Cherie?
All right. As we know, a lot can happen here in just a few days. Todd Dykes reporting live for us. Todd, thanks for the update there. I know a lot of people watching that issue closely.